This is the most torturous traffic jam I've ever seen. Vehicles being controlled to move forward on autopilot, waiting for death in a cannibalistic tunnel. Each additional second of waiting, they are a little more scared inside. The parents looked anxiously ahead, seeing that the tunnel exit is not far away, but they could not move. After a few long seconds, the car finally moved. Since there were fewer cars in front of them, they were going a little faster. In the next lane, because of the extra cars, the little girl's family was moved to the back row. The father felt a cold sweat. The mother was also relieved. The exit was only a few meters away. The children began to play. The atmosphere inside the car was much more active, but the nervous mother could not stand their noise. They shouted at them to shut up. At the same time, the siren sounded and all cars stopped moving forward. The gates above the tunnel began to slowly descend. Death had finally arrived. They could not see the exact location of the gate. It seemed to be right overhead. The crowd could only bow their heads in despair and waiting for their fate. Fortunately, the gate fell just behind the car. They drove out of the tunnel in a life-or-death situation. But the little girl's family, who was originally side by side with them, was not so lucky. They were locked in the tunnel. They became the target of the cleanup. The car that had just changed lanes drove out of the tunnel unscathed. The son looked at the next car. There were strange people sitting in it. He realized that the little girl's family had been left behind in the tunnel forever. The family hugged each other tightly after the disaster. They were so lucky, but some of them will never get out. As far as the eye could see, the dense cluster of buildings and vehicles up and down reveals the feeling of suffocation. The population of the future world is skyrocketing. Food and energy is very scarce. In order to control the burden to create such a horrible way to clean up, the inhabitants of the city long for the outside world, although they know that it may cost them their lives. But everyone still chooses a short period of freedom and happiness.